Hi, welcome back to Millennial TheraMom. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about one way that you can organize and make visible the mental load that for many new parents can often feel invisible. And sometimes it's so hard to even grasp, like, why do I feel so tired? Like, why do I feel so exhausted or overwhelmed? Or if you've ever asked that question, just know that you are not alone. And I think in my 15 months postpartum journey that some of it has to do with just all the little tiny tasks that go into being a parent. One thing that I felt I wasn't necessarily prepared for, but I'm grateful to have, amazing husband who we've communicated about the load, we've talked about it, and that's why I am really big right now on helping make this mental load visible, helping make it manageable, helping us see what's actually a priority, what's not, what's on our plate, what needs to be taken off or given to somebody else. So make sure to keep watching because today's video I'm going to do a little bit different. I had pre-recorded certain sections of me filling out the mental load visible calendar, whatever you want to call it. It's yours. Um, I had recorded myself setting that up for a couple weeks ago. So you'll see a February date. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a voiceover so that you can see the process. I might even speed it up. I want this to be quick, but I want you to be able to have a little bit more confidence in like, what should I put on this visible load calendar or just life calendar? And how can I prioritize it? Because one more thing I want to say is that if you've seen my flexible creating a flexible schedule section video, you might see that I have some admin blocks. So let's say, I do a little bit of pour into my own cup for the first 30 minutes that my daughter naps. Then the next hour-ish, hour and a half, if she sleeps that long, is usually related to house admin things. So what are the things that need to be decluttered, the phone calls that need to be made, the scheduling that needs to be done as a primarily stay-at-home parent, and why I call myself stay-at-home-ish, I just know that there's a lot that goes into it. I'm on the learning curve myself, and I'm starting to see like, okay, in order for me to be well and manage this load, I really need to make it visible. I need to make time to pour into myself and more. I'm still learning. So I just hope that this video helps you see that there's one additional way. And remember that just with any information I share, like you practice it, you see how it fits for your life, you marinate on it, and you decide if it's going to work for you or not. Because it might not, and that's okay. We're different people, right? So I hope you all watch this, take care, and make sure to follow and subscribe for more videos and tips. So first, I just want to share that I made this specific schedule with things that were important for me. So you will really have to figure out like what is it that is really taking up this mental space, if there's certain tasks. As you can see here, I put things, people I needed to call for, text, plan, do, research, and buy. Those are kind of some of the main admin stuff. So when I think about, I need to call insurance, I need to research a library where we can go for story time, etc., that kind of stuff. What do we need to buy, right? As we think about when certain food runs out and when certain things in the house run out. So that was important for me to have on there. So you just think about like what are those different buckets of tasks that need to be done that take up space, time, energy, and more. And then from there, you'll see I started creating this hubby slash or delegate section. These are the kinds of things that I know for the most part my husband usually does, and we've talked about it. So he'll usually do things like grocery shopping or taxes or like certain things like that. And it's kind of like my reminder that he's got this, and also his reminder. I also like to put in meal ideas because sometimes it's just good to when you are resourced and you're able to think about this week's meals, like it's easy to just put some ideas there versus trying to think a bit about it like last minute or in the moment. Having that rushing feeling just isn't as helpful. So that's why you see some meal ideas there. And then the care slash events section, that's the part where I try to put some of the main things that are coming up this week, aka like things that requiring me to get out of the house. So like appointments or library trips, etc. But also care. Care means Are we going to have a sitter come? Is my mom going to watch the baby, etc.? So that also helps me be realistic of like, when do we actually have a sitter coming for our daughter? When do we actually have events that we need to be somewhere? So that works for me. Again, flex this as you need, make it your own. And speaking of flex, what you'll see here on the right top section says flex-ish schedule slash routine. Focus on what matters. Make priorities priorities. So I am a visual person. I like to have visual representation of what I need to be focusing on. I don't know if you saw on the other side, but it says FAMS and adulting with compassion. I almost forgot about that. So that's important. And for here, you'll see I had already created this flex schedule with my daughter in my other video that I mentioned. And I like to put here pre 7 a.m. It's morning me time. However, I need to pour into myself. Then we have 7 to 10, which is my morning time with my daughter. And in there, we do like breakfast and music and dancing and a show that she likes and I like. Then we have 10 to 12, which is her nap time. This is where typically I will use the first 30 ish minutes to do something for me. So whether that's read a book or watch a show I like or listen to a message or just sit outside in the sun or figure out the day of. And then after then, that's when I jump into some of these other admin house things to do. So things I need to do, research, people I need to text or call. Obviously, I cannot do it all in the 1 hour, 1 hour and a half extra that she gives me. So this is where the priorities come. I look at this and I think about what is a priority right now. Do I need to declutter this paperwork? Do I need to whatever, right? So that's how you make it your own. And then as you'll see here, it just continues. We're 12 to 3 ish. I'm with my daughter again, 3 to 4. She sometimes naps 20, 30 minutes. That usually will be a continuation of whatever I didn't do during that first nap. I want to continue to do, or I just pour back into myself. If I'm feeling like it's been a long day already, then maybe I'll go sit back outside, or I'll, like I said, watch a show, drink a smoothie, breathe, whatever I need to do to pour back into myself too. And that's what I mean about creating those pockets for you to get poured into throughout your day. So definitely capitalizing on that. Then, as you see, it just continues where from 3:30 to 4ish, I'm with my daughter again. And I decided to block off that way because at 5ish, I give her dinner. And then 5 to 7 feels like, all right, this is the last 2 hours of being awake. So we're gonna just hang out, we're gonna play, we're gonna listen to music. We're not gonna do anything too bananas. We usually aren't outside the home around this time because if you have a toddler, you may know there are just certain times of the days where, or baby, there are just certain time of the days where they're just not as peoply, and that's okay. At least for my daughter, I know that 12 to 3ish time frame in the middle of the day is perfect for us to do things outside. And outside of that, it's possible, but we try to focus that in. So that's like kind of like the first section. You'll see here, this is basically just a continuation. It just shows written out the flex-ish schedule that I had mentioned with my morning time with my daughter, some of the things that I try to focus on during that time, some of that, the flex slash quiet time slash admin house things that I do during that 10 to 12 and more. You can see there. So I'm not going to go too into it, but this is just your reminder to figure out what feels good for you. What would you want to visually see to help you bring some calm when it might feel a little chaosy? I'm not gonna lie, having this visual over on the side kind of always helps me, especially when I'm like starting to go down my overwhelm spiral or like, oh, there's a lot to do. Then I can look at this and remember that just gotta focus on what matters, make my priorities the priorities, and really just take it baby steps. So I hope that seeing something like this is helpful for you, not to only like manage or help address the mental load, but also to bring awareness. I mean, like, you do a lot as a new parent. You do a lot as a parent in general, as a human being. And I think that seeing it like this can help you see like, oh, snaps, like there is a lot that's floating around in my mind, and give yourself that compassion of like, oh, I am kind of navigating a lot. I'm carrying a lot. There's a lot on my plate. And then that next step, which is how can I receive help? What support do I need? Or any other question you want to ask yourself. So please follow, subscribe, like I mentioned. Please take care of yourselves. Put in those pockets of rest and joy and laughter and stillness and all that stuff that's good for you into your schedules with your children, by yourself, however. And let me know in the comments if there's any part of this that you're like, I kind of want to try it out. Or maybe it's like, you don't want to try it out. That's okay too. Like I said, I'm just sharing one way. There are many different ways, but I'm a visual person and I like to write stuff down. So this was the best way for me. But I hope you all take care.